What's going on, everybody? It's your boy D Park. You guys probably realize that I'm in the exact same clothes that I was in the last video, and that's because, yes, this video is being recorded the exact same day as the last one. 2 for 2, guys. Um, Not trying to rush these, just trying to get out a bunch of content for you guys since I did miss the upload schedule that I previously set for myself. So I was just kind of doing a rabbit hole on YouTube through, my normal stuff, cop videos, military videos comes through, then gaming videos, music videos, and then I stumbled upon liminal space. I started delving into the liminal space iceberg, if you will. And I came across this video that kept popping up, and it's called The Most Demonic Amusement Park, Liminal Land. I've never heard about Liminal Land, but the thumbnail of the video is intriguing. It's got a lot of views, and the comment section is jumping. So I thought that maybe it would be fun to dive into this iceberg together. I don't feel comfortable doing it on my own, man. This stuff is crazy, crazy, crazy. So let's all strap in together, get something to drink, get something to eat, and just watch this video, man. Without further ado, guys, The Most Demonic Amusement Park, Liminal Land. Blind take, fresh reaction. Let's get it. For the best experience, turn off all the lights. Most of them are off. And don't turn around. Yo.
It's bigger and better than ever. Something for everyone looking for fun.
Catch the action with over 50 rides, shows, and attractions at the world's largest participation
Yeah,
park.
those things are crazy, like fast. Those are like the alpine slides. My brother, like my family took me on a vacation with my brother, and he went down one of those alpine slides, and Brody ran into like the back of like this elderly woman that was going like 2 miles down it. And like she had the audacity to get mad at him when he was literally just doing the ride. Like he wasn't going crazy or anything. I remember watching him. Dude literally almost like hurt himself trying to like, it was nuts. Dude, like almost like, it was crazy. He could have lost his life. Like the speed he was going and the way he dismantled, he almost hit his head on like a rock. I remember it was crazy, but
Park where you and the rides become one. You're just minutes away.
Liminal Land is an ongoing ARG run by prominent horror YouTubers Nexpo and Nick Crowley. The story revolves around the
wait a minute, Nick Crowley. Hold on. That name is too familiar. Huh. Who am I thinking of?
events of Liminal Land, a now defunct amusement park where some unknown tragedies occurred in the 70s
Who is the guy that made Big Mouth? I'm thinking of the guy that made Big Mouth right now.
and 80s. It's now up to us, the viewer, to determine what really happened to both Liminal Land and everyone who visited it. As we delve deeper, we uncover stories of child sacrifice, Canaanite gods, and anomalous events. As of now, the ARG is comprised of 5 videos and a variety of posts over at visitliminalland.net. This is going to be a long one, so get comfortable as we investigate the extensive history of Liminal Land. An introduction to the series is presented to us in the form of a post titled About Liminal Land on the Liminal Land website. Here we can find a brief overview of the park's history from the day it opened to the day it closed. Alongside this is a plethora of eerie images depicting the once lively attractions which resided inside Liminal Land.
Yo, why are all their faces like warped? That was weird.
Liminal Land opened its doors in the early winter of 1975. Destined to become one of the grandest amusement parks in the United States, Charon Corporation set out to push the boundaries of what it meant to provide immersive entertainment. To this day, it's unclear how exactly Liminal Land garnered such a passionate and sizable audience so quickly, as the town of Lake Valley, New Mexico has historically had a relatively small population. Regardless, ticket sales exploded from day one, much to the credit of large families who flew in from all over the world to experience Charon's experimental vision. From the beginning, Liminal Land was always embedded with one mission: to dethrone Disneyland as the go-to destination for thrill seekers of all ages. Coasters that evoked emotion, a multi-tiered water park, and a massive underground suburbia were among the experiences being tested while the park was open. And to this day, debates are plentiful on whether Charon actually achieved their goal of industry dominance. Surprisingly, very little news coverage came out of Lake Valley during Liminal Land's tenure. Parkgoers seemed avid to serve as test subjects for their experimental rides, and it felt like no one ever batted an eye. Regardless of the numerous accidents that took place over the years, there was never a single investigation, audit, or inspection ever credibly done. What Liminal Land touted as anomalous events were simply tarped off for a day and reopened thereafter with not a single word about them. For 14 years, the park operated in this bizarre manner. People went missing, rides consistently changed, and the park's staff were always apathetic about it. Yet Liminal Land's popularity paradoxically appeared to grow. Unfortunately, on May 20th of 1989, Liminal Land's day of reckoning had come. That night, the park was rapidly and indefinitely shut down, with no concrete reason ever being given. The remains of those present on that fateful night are rumored to remain exactly where they were last seen, although nobody knows for sure. There's been nothing like it for decades, and probably never will. Obviously, this is not your average amusement park. There's something more sinister.
So Liminal Land is real. It's not just like a analog horror. It's a real place.
Play if Liminal Land experienced numerous accidents, anomalous events, missing persons, and a lack of investigations into these reports. This off-putting element is prevalent in the photos presented in the post titled Attractions. For instance, attractions such as the Centrifuge, the Chrysanthemum, Unknown 1, Serpentine, Unknown 2, and the Laugh Track all look like they were pulled straight from a haunted house, given how ominous the photos are. The most important of these attractions, the Hall of Walls, Paradise Playrooms, and Subliminal Land, include their own posts which describe each of them in detail.
Subliminal Land looks scary, bro.
Same hall, new walls. The staple of Liminal Land is back for the summer season with a brand new look. The freshly painted gray walls blend together more than ever in what the Lake Valley Times calls the most immersive escape room man has ever built. Featuring its signature 800,000 square foot megastructure, the Hall of Walls offers an experience like no other where guests can lose themselves every time. Built into the outer walls of the structure now stand 7 unique exits, each of which demanding a different path to take. Of these exits, only one will be opened each day, while the rest are sealed off by gray walls no different than the countless others within the structure. This assures a unique experience for our explorer every time, as you never know what route will lead you to your escape. Unwilling to settle for the monotony of the tired current day escape rooms, Dr. Schlittenberg used his advanced knowledge of the human mind to push and eventually shatter the boundaries of what many believe possible for a theme park attraction, crafting an experience that can only be described as Liminal Land's crown jewel. Though we strive for all explorers to feel the sensation of vanishing, help is always around the corner. For help exiting the hall, make your way to the nearest partner. If a partner is out of reach, calmly stand still and wait. Help is always on the way. Paradise Playrooms.
Why the
unnamed
kid's
child
face
photographed
look like that?
playing in the early variation of the park's signature Paradise Playrooms. The vast building served as a maze for children to get lost in, as their parents enjoyed the more mature attractions in the park.
So at a kid's theme park, get rid of the kids.
Found in
Or
remaining
adults
company
go do it.
files,
What?
this poster once promoted the highly ambitious Paradise Playrooms, which served
That seems kind of messed up, bro. Like, honestly. If you take your kid to a theme park, take your kid to a theme park.
as the park's alternative to daycare. Early reviews suggested that the attraction lived up to its name, with children joyfully spending hours lost in the maze of never-ending fun. And finally,
Aw,
introducing
see,
Subliminal Land,
Subliminal Land is the
a
scariest
whole new
one.
world
It's all
underneath your
water and
feet.
shit.
3 years after Liminal Land changed the face of Lake Valley, Charon Corporation has emerged with yet another project bound to fascinate park visitors. A multi-thousand square foot underground complex spanning 36 floors vertically downward is now available to explore, completely at your leisure. Immerse yourself in the naturally heated structures warmed by the remnants of Lake Valley's dormant test sites. Given the city's rich history and diligence in investing in energy infrastructure, Lake Valley Observations has donated their prior complex to benefit Charon's vision of bringing humanity the most unique theme park experience in the world today. You'll find that Subliminal Land carries the most unique pool architecture in the world. Irregular pool shapes break the monotony of the rectangular alternatives, largely made possible by the reuse of old, clean energy reservoirs left behind by the engineers and scientists from Lake Valley Observations. On top of this, you'll find that each pool is seamlessly connected to every other one on each floor, meaning you'll never have to leave the water. As you make your way out of the hospitality sector and into the Serenity Ward below it, you'll discover the crowds become less prevalent. This is by design, and is made possible by the sheer size of floor B10 and beyond. You'll be pleased to find that the deeper you venture into Subliminal Land, the larger the floors become, allowing you to truly escape the monotony of daily life in lieu of a dead silent,
Bro, this is so creepy.
unforgettably serene experience
Oh my
underground.
gosh.
If you're having difficulty navigating the maze-like structure of Subliminal Land, feel free to ask the nearest partner and they'll be happy to direct you. 3 parkgoers taking a break from the expansive network of pools within Subliminal Land. They appear to be somewhere on floor B27, although nobody knows for sure. While there's much to be said about each of these attractions independently, what's
Why is the dude unclothed?
most important to notice is that Charon is attempting to achieve a similar goal with all of them, and that is to make the visitors stay for as long as possible. Whether this means getting lost in the ever-changing Hall of Walls, in the maze and Paradise Playrooms, or on one of the many floors in Subliminal Land. All of the aforementioned attractions are designed to keep the visitor trapped and isolated, with their only form of escape being to find a Liminal Land's employee and ask for directions, if there's even an employee nearby.
Yeah, bro. Because they said if there isn't one, to just stand there.
Now's a good time to discuss our first tape of the Liminal Land YouTube channel, titled Company Training Tape Visitor Satisfaction. As the description states, this tape was recovered from the main office at Liminal Land Park. It seems to be part of a collection. This is an orientation tape, presumably for new hires, that teaches them to recognize when a visitor is dissatisfied with Liminal Land.
Look at the photo. Look at the photo.
Yo, what? Bro, this is fake, bro. It is fake. This is a hot, like an analog horror, bro. Like, this is fake. I'm just confused at this point because it's like the way he's presenting it. It's legit.
Though this tape is disturbing by all accounts, it may seem like it doesn't harbor any deeper information to help unravel the mystery of Liminal Land. But it actually does. And this information can be easily overlooked if you're not paying close enough attention. At exactly 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the tape, text appears on screen saying, "If you encounter a dissatisfied visitor, be sure to make their day by suggesting additional park activities." However, there's a single frame right before that where the text is altered to read, "We hope this tape has helped to prepare you to keep visitors here for as long as possible." This is followed by, "At Liminal Land, a happy visitor is a forever visitor." You've probably realized this by now, but these phrases are important because they tie back to the idea of keeping visitors trapped inside Liminal Land. If a happy visitor is a forever visitor, then of course, Charon would train their employees to spot dissatisfied visitors and find a way to satisfy them. At the end of the video, we're told to inform our manager to initiate the next course with the password "right" when we are ready, followed by the tape ending. Though we don't know why, it's clear that Charon is attempting to isolate and ensnare visitors within their attractions. It's because of this that Charon created Home, an underground suburbia built underneath Liminal Land to encourage visitors to stay for longer and make themselves at
Like
home.
green. Like, of all the things to
Welcome
color,
home.
green. Like,
One of the finer creations of Liminal Land Park came with the creation of their flagship accommodation, the Holistic and Opportune Mutual Experience, or Home. The Home project encompassed a sprawling underground suburbia, perfect for families who traveled from out of state to experience Liminal Land for themselves. Built from the repurposed bones of the Lake Valley Observatory employee housing structure, the site once housed the facility's clean energy workers and their families, at a time creating one of the largest underground communities in existence. Upon its opening,
See, this is-
Liminal Land aimed to celebrate this sense of community
I want to split this video up into 2 parts. Obviously, it's a 50-minute video. So we're going to stop it at 25 minutes solid. And then we're going to put out a second part tomorrow to this. But moving through all of this in our first half of the video, I'm getting the sense that they're wanting to keep the people there for sure. But I don't see a purpose yet. That's what I don't understand. Like, I see... It's not like they're paying more. Like, what are they using the
by
people?
transitioning Home's purpose away from employees and geared
And I'm also still super confused. Like, is Liminal Land real? Like, was it a real thing?
towards park visitors, many of whom felt overwhelmingly comfortable while inside due to its illusory nature.
I need answers to these
This
questions.
sensation of homeliness was the sole intention behind the project, as Charon sought to keep guests inside the park for as long as possible in hopes of maximizing profits. Because of this, Home would be the only in-park hotel offered to guests, reportedly containing around 10,000 concurrent operational rooms at its peak, spread out over a handful of square miles underneath Liminal Land. Blending 50s-inspired decor with modern cues from the 1980s, Home was a marvel for its time. And due to the intrigue and raving reviews surrounding it, Charon would begin selling units in 1981. Fulfilling their goal of keeping their patrons on park grounds for as long as humanly possible. Quick family vacations often turned into extended and even permanent stays, and for many, Liminal Land Park had indefinitely become home.
No.
A full-page advertisement celebrating a facility named Home.
Bro, you have to be
While
rich.
little is known about what went on inside, rumor has it that it was Liminal Land's take on a reality-bending underground suburbia. Urban legend aside though, it was more than likely a clever accommodation to get families to stay at the park longer than they otherwise would.
But what if it was
Poster
like
recovered from the
paradise,
Home
bro?
complex, depicting an oddly to-the-point demand to onlookers. Its dreamlike visuals reflected the maze-like structure of the lower levels of Liminal Land, as visitors would often wind up inside, with no recollection of how they got there. Like Liminal Land's aforementioned attractions, Home was also built to act as a maze, preventing visitors from ever finding a way out. However, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. What amusement park wouldn't want its customers to stay for as long as possible? Keep this idea in the back of your mind, because before we begin to get a feel for the true malicious nature of Liminal Land, we need to discuss one of the founding members, Dr. Frank Schlittenberg. If you remember, Dr. Schlittenberg was responsible for the creation of the Hall of Walls, and also a ride I haven't spoken about yet, named the Laugh Track.
Yo, man, what the hell is wrong with her face? I don't like it when faces are elongated like that, man. That's weird. And the eyes.
The first
the
published
chills.
mention of Dr. Frank Schlittenberg in the weekly edition of Science News on November 28, 1959, 16 years before the opening of Liminal Land. The article briefly discusses his research into the world of cortical activation and specifically compression-induced laughter. Despite discovering the clear health issues that prolonged exposure to these compressions can cause, he incorporated the same technology years later into the Laugh Track. The group concerned with providing a database for this summer's interdisciplinary study of amusement park engineering at the Rochester Institute of Technology faced several difficulties, says Dr. Frank Schlittenberg, Chief Engineering Chairman. An approach to measuring the effects of mechanically induced cortical activation was inducing chest compression via an overhanging chest mount resting on the shoulders of willing participants. On intervals of 60 seconds, the restraints would compress, causing uncontrollable laughter in the subjects. Though there are many ways to test mechanical cortical activation, this study specifically used means of compression for laughter and the effects it may have on individuals over extended periods of time. The risk of harmful pressure in the trunk cavity during expression was the sole focus in the research to distinguish whether this type of induced
Yeah, that's so
laughter could
weird,
be
though.
viable and safe to emulate in commercial
so weird.
products.
Like, that's just
To
so
research
weird.
the harmful effects of mechanically induced laughter, 20
Just make an attraction that makes people laugh. You know? Wow.
25 university students volunteered to have their chests compressed at random intervals. On average, the participants experienced brief moments of euphoria in the test's initial phases.
This is what I was reading.
In later phases, participants began to feel feelings of fear, anxiety, and panic. In the final phase of testing, every participant reported feeling intense stomach pain and severe mind fog. Ultrasounds later revealed damage to the diaphragm of 3 of the participants, including 1 total rupture. The results of this study support the hypothesis that mechanically induced cortical activation is possible and can be replicated to induce emotions. The results also support the hypothesis that prolonged exposure to mechanically induced cortical activation can result in negative effects on the human mind and body, and that these effects pose an increased risk of harm to the vital organs in the trunk cavity. Given this, the implementation of induced laughter in the commercial, uncontrolled products is not recommended until these effects are better understood. Circa 1977, 2 years after the opening of Liminal Land, the happiest ride on Earth.
Yo, man.
Charon Corporation's first foray into the experimental roller coasters. The Laugh Track utilized specialized restraint compressions to evoke uncontrolled laughter during its 8-minute runtime. The potential for asphyxiation was still being studied, although strangely, not a single rider had filed a complaint during its brief run.
Wait, what?
Circa 1988, 1 year before the closure of Liminal Land. Back on track. Cameras on the Laugh Track captured giggling passengers upon the esteemed ride's reopening in the summer of 1988. The ride had been suspended earlier that year and covered with massive tarps in an attempt to hide it from the public eye. The official reason given for its closure was severe mechanical issues, with the tarps being used to protect the ride from the harsh sunlight. Many have gone on to reject these explanations, with some going as far to claim that the ride was closed due to an accident and potentially even total derailment. Though to this point, little evidence exists to back these rumors. The ride continued to operate that summer, much to the enjoyment of parkgoers, and remained operational until Liminal Land's eventual closure the following year. It's currently not known if any riders ever experienced damage to their bodies or minds while riding the laugh track. Obviously, there's something malicious going on with Dr. Schlittenberg and the laugh track. Not only does Dr. Schlittenberg's research show that inducing laughter can cause harmful effects physically and mentally, but there was also a suspension of the laugh track in 1988 for some unknown reason, most likely some sort of accident as opposed to a mechanical malfunction. If I had to guess, the laugh track is a means to cheer up dissatisfied visitors in Liminal Land. Knowing what we know from the visitor satisfaction tape, employees are trained to spot dissatisfied visitors and suggest other park activities, the laugh track most likely being one of the activities. This way, you can mechanically induce happiness, causing the visitor to stay longer. Dr. Schlittenberg's involvement only scratches the surface of what's going on inside of Liminal Land, so it's no surprise that suspicions began to arise as more incidents occurred. On June 15, 1987, the Lake Valley Police arrived on scene of a house fire. Despite a quick response time, there was nothing that could be done to salvage the home. When arriving on scene, 2 adults engaged our team to alert them of the presence of 2 children stuck in their bedroom. The 2 were locked in for bedtime before the oven caught fire due to a forgotten cake left by the mother. The blaze, however, was too severe for the fire squad to enter. Both children would eventually perish in the flames. Fast action was made to stop the spread of the blaze, and thankfully nearby homes were spared of any serious damage. Cleanup was completed the following day, and 1 house was repainted due to damage from the smoke. No charges were filed. This home belonged to the Jacobsons, and unfortunately, the children in the family were unable to be saved that day. Over 6 months later, the mother of the family, Margaret Jacobson, would go missing. She had brown hair, brown eyes, a fair complexion, and was last seen at Liminal Land Park, 600 County Road, Lake Valley, New Mexico. In the same year as her disappearance, LVVT5 would air a missing persons segment during a sign-off, in which Margaret was included amongst a plethora of other missing persons. The description of this tape on the Liminal Land website reads the following. Contrary to the small population size of Lake Valley, the high number of missing persons cases is likely attributed to the numerous incidents that took place within nearby Liminal Land Park. We're not yet told what events have occurred at Liminal Land for so many people to be missing, but this is enough to finally attract the attention of Lake Valley Police, who begin to investigate Liminal Land's attractions. A memorandum from an unknown sender to an unknown recipient describes the current turmoil between Liminal Land and the local police department. I am writing this letter to inform you of the escalating activities in the Liminal Land Park, where outside jurisdiction is poking around behind the scenes. We've received your reports of street-clothed officers from the surveying the premises after park hours, allegedly conducting some sort of unlawful investigation into your park's activities. One officer was reprimanded last night on level B34 of Subliminal Land, hiding in the men's restroom. When approached, he claimed to have been lost, before refusing to speak any further. Currently, he's being held in our facility for further questioning. We will send updates on what he knows and who else is involved with this work. For now, all that's confirmed are his ties to the investigative department of the... Previously, I recall your complaints of calling your offices about the laugh track. It's possible that he was hiding out to get a closer look at the ride when the park was cleared. We already know that has an interest in that ride specifically, so my advice would be to take action in-house. Shredding files will only do so much if they are actively in the park disguised as patrons. Consider looking into Clause 18. we're here to help. Sincerely. Now it's unsure.
Interesting, man. Very interesting. Very, very interesting, all that. So, it is a long video. It's a 50-minute video. We're 25 minutes and 32 seconds into it. I'm going to go ahead and make a part 1 video. Sorry, the P on that part was super into the mic. And a part 2. So, if you guys like this, a little bit of learning about Liminal Land, like me, I'm sold on this. Like, I want to figure out what's going on. I don't understand it. I don't understand what the doctor's doing. I know it's bad. I mean, those reports said that somebody's ruptured their stomach. Man, that's super painful. Two children died in the house fire in this story. Like, there's this bad stuff surrounding Liminal Land, man. It's understandable why it's closed down. And as soon as I get off here, I'm about to look up, is Liminal Land real, man? Because this is crazy. If this is a real place or not, this is a crazy, crazy story, man. So yeah, man, I hope you guys are liking the video. Part 2 is coming out tomorrow. So yeah, I'd appreciate a like for sure on this. I dropped another reaction video today as well, if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. And I'm also monitoring Monster Poop and Chicardo for more YTP content, as well as the Harold Trotter and I did the part 1 of that one. I'm also still monitoring Chicardo for the part 2 on that. So I'm on those things. I was live on Twitch today as well, you guys. If you're interested in live streaming, I was playing some Fortnite. We had some fun on there. We got some new followers, and it was honestly just a great time to vibe with people that are looking to, I don't know, have a different kind of community in like a channel. I'm not trying to be weird about it, but like I think there's a lot of things you can do on these platforms, YouTube, Twitch, that involve your community much more than what a lot of these bigger streamers are doing. And there's nothing against them. It's not what they're doing. So I'd just like to do something different and really incorporate, the people that are watching. So yeah, if you guys have any video ideas for me to react to, if you guys want to ever jump into a lobby of Fortnite with me, you guys can add me if you want. I go by DPark, DPVRK, or DPark Studios, DPARK STUDIOS. So if you guys ever want to hop into a Fortnite lobby with me, play a few rounds. Yeah. I'm also thinking about doing some League of Legends gameplay. So there's a lot of new things coming. Assassin's Creed in the future, as I talked about on my Twitch today. But yeah, man. Hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving, man. Happy Thanksgiving. If you didn't hear it from me yesterday on Thanksgiving while I was streaming, happy Thanksgiving from me, guys. Hope it was a good one. Hope you ate lots of food and saw lots of fun family. I'm going to go ahead and do my outro, guys. Thank you so much for being here. A like is appreciated, at least. I saw a lot of traction on some of the other videos, so I hope you guys are just liking the videos. Stick around, man. We got a lot of stuff coming. So yeah. Other than that, guys, stay awesome, stay safe. It's an incredibly crazy, 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 and fucked up world we live in. Other than that, guys, stay frosty. DPark is out.